Well, don't hit the button yet.
I already hit the button.
I'm not dressed.
I already hit
I'm
the
not
button.
dressed.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Where Game Pass exists. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Real Deal Xbox Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're here, reach around and pat yourself on the back, because we appreciate you so much. If you are already here, hit the like button, tell a buddy or two we're live. Every little bit helps as we do go into the week's latest and greatest topics. We got some pretty good topics today. We'll crawl in and out of a small dumpster during the show talking about some radical stuff that's been going on and kind of crush those people. And also drop the latest information on what Microsoft are doing and all the newest stuff you guys. You know what the fuck I'm saying. So we're going to do some introductions, shout outs, and obviously, guys, we want to know your thoughts as we do go through here. Fonzarelli, another week, another show. You're here this week. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Finally, right? I'm able to make it on time. Not the last 5 minutes of the show like last week, but it's been fun this week. Been able to play a little bit here and there. NBA 2K, getting involved in that since there's nothing really else to play, and been having a blast even with you. Last night we won a game together, and that was cool.
Yeah. We're talking about 2K22, having some fun with that.
Right.
D-Bash, brother. Another week, another show. I explained what happened last week. It was all on me, man. It's good to have you back this week. How you been?
I'm good, man. Speaking of 2K, WWE 2K22 just got an update. I'm hoping that finally I can connect to an online game on the consoles. I'm having some problems with my Xbox Series X. It works fine on my PC. But however, I did the update on the PC and everything is in like supercharged turbo mode, man. It's running at 120 FPS, but the animations are running way ahead. So I got to figure that out. But yeah, it's good to be it's good to be back on the show this week. And we got some good topics. So let's get into it.
Those damn fans. It's like they tied the animations to the frame rate. So now everyone's running around super speed.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Hey, we've also got Tim Dog, brother. Another week, another show. Glad to have you back.
A week, another show, and yes, we got a lot to talk about. Some stupid stuff, some fun stuff, and some stuff that actually means something. But yeah, happy to be here. Last week I was at the Islander game, went to UBS, but glad to be here, and we should have a good show.
I saw you sleeping on the Jumbotron.
Which one, the Mets or the UBS? Because I slept on both.
How many Jumbotrons have you been on in the last week?
I try to fall asleep on every Jumbotron. That's my new thing.
We love you. We love you. Zachary, brother. Another week, another show. How you been?
Doing good, man. Excited to be here. We got some actually good topics to talk about and people yelling at other people that are developers. Me and you played NBA 2K22, right, today? We won like 2 straight games, and we're popping off. It's great.
He's popping off.
Do it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell everybody out there. Welcome to RDX DLC. We're back. We're the same. We're bringing it again, once again, every Tuesday. Woo, we're back.
Hey, we're highly iterative, but you know what?
Do you mean by that?
All right. Well, hey, yeah, seriously, though, we want to thank everybody tuning in. Hit the like button. Share it on Twitter for us. We do appreciate everybody in the chat. You're all real, and I appreciate that because we worked hard to build this shit, and I worked really fucking hard to build this channel. So that stuff is, I just love seeing real people in the fucking chat. There's a lot of bullshit going around.
No botting here.
No botting. Hey, again, guys, this is Mass Effect Andromeda, Mass Effect 3, and since everyone talked about my eyebrows last week, I'm wearing armor that hides the shit, okay?
Dealer Shepard, there he is again.
Yep, that's me. We've also got Dark CMF real quick in the super chat. Says Rage. It's like Twitter, but it's YouTube. Nano Polymath $10 super chat. Shout out to you, buddy. He says PS5 is a cake, no real HDR, no real VRR, no machine learning, no RDNA 2, and cannot play full games. Only DLCs like Spider-Man's and God of War. That's super savage. And then we got Bald Thanos. Shout out to you. He says my birthday tomorrow. Anybody have extra weed? We don't. Maybe D-Bash does. And then we got Hargi here. He says, have you all heard about this new DLC coming to PlayStation? PS fans are really emotional about it. They really are, Hargi. Shout out to you, brother. Hargi Cheney in the super chat. And then we got one more from Joaquin, which is cut off. Let me move this upwards. I will get that. But it's good to have Hargeet back in the chat as well as the Dark CMF. We were talking about these guys last week.
Joaquin said, you want me to get it?
Yeah, go
ahead. Let's cut it. D-Batch, immediate reaction to the Sega news. You hype?
Which Sega news?
Yeah, what?
I mean, isn't there? I don't know what the second news is, but I heard that Sony's buying everyone. Maybe that's it. I heard they're buying all of Japan. That's
Really?
what I heard. Yeah, every developer in Japan, including the one that's owned by Bethesda or ZeniMax.
That's
Gone.
crazy.
Yeah, they're not fucking around.
Maybe if you could follow up on what he meant, because I don't know of any news that hasn't come out already.
Mm.
Yeah, that's I have no idea either. Maybe the chat. I mean, like I always say, the chat is quite the resource. So maybe the chat knows, right? But I'm gonna give some shout outs to my patron tier here as well, and I'm gonna also introduce my first poll of the show. I love polls.
Make it
apparently.
pro
bet
Xbox so
you
everybody can.
I'm gonna
score
put
in
is
with a
Xbox the best
90%, yeah.
box,
Yeah.
and they're all gonna say yeah, probably. So
Except for me, I'll say no.
there's the
92% Xbox.
there's
yes.
there's the first poll.
Sony buying Japan.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going off what you guys are saying again. So, yeah, let me give a shout out to my patron tier. The shout out tier: Dub, Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Dave Incubus, Ricky Fallon, Faultlines, Not Silik, Achievement, Nanopolymath, Zoran Costanza, KY Bob, Goose 8402, Strike, Khalifa, Assassin, Lupa for an Object, Gab, Queez, Teo, John Bluebeck, Boss, D-Beater, X, Real Deal, Neil, Suicide King, Texas Genie, Michael Bond, Guillermo Cavillo, All Might, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Shout out to those guys. If you want to join that list of names, sponsor the show, if you will, that is one of the patron tiers. Check it out. Link down below. I'm giving away games on Patreon and for channel members once again, because I got around patrons' little bullshit. They didn't like it when I did that before, so I'm trying to give games to people that support the channel, and I'm going to start up a Discord channel for that, and that's going to start at the beginning of next month. So if you don't, shut up, Pops. If you don't, what's the news?
The news is that Sega is creating a remake for Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh,
Who gives a shit?
God.
Jet Set Radio, man, I love that game. That
its
is
time,
a
it was
Lot-
cool.
lot-
But,
lot-
yeah, but
Right.
if they remake it the right way, I think Jet Set Radio could still do good. And
well,
Crazy
people did like
Taxi is
Sunset
a classic.
Overdrive, so
Why you guys
Yeah,
got to be
Crazy Taxi
argumentative
is
and toxic
classic.
already?
just
So, yeah,
old
that is good
games-
news. That is good news.
because it's time to like make some new games, something fresh. Like it seems like a lot of developers now are going, let's just remake an old game we made 20 years ago. How about that? You know, it's like,
Didn't I just
come on.
argue about this like 3 months ago with the fucking Dead Space?
No,
Goddamn it,
yeah.
you were not for it.
No. I said I was okay with Dead Space because I love that.
Basically,
game, yeah.
everybody has that game they would
But-
allow.
Exactly. There's
Yeah,
certain games I'll allow, but yeah, Jet Set. Radio
But
is
that's the
definitely
thing,
not
though.
one.
Everyone's different. So there's Jet Set fans out there that are like, holy shit, I want to play this,
Yeah, man.
and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna.
Wouldn't you
And let's be
rather have
honest, it's not
Sega
gonna
say,
be-
"Hey, here's a new IP"? Yeah, come on.
I've
It's not going to be a full price game either, though. It'll be something that'll be like $30 or something. I doubt that those remakes would be full price. So
No, it's
if they
saying they're
price it right,
AAA.
I think it's
saying they're
good.
AAA remakes.
Even so, I don't think they're going to be full price. I think if they're priced correctly, I think they'll do good. They have a cult following, man.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Jonas the Dad. He says RDX fired up the maple syrup. Shout out to Cam's favorite son, Batchman. Shout out to you, D Batch. And then we got Xbox Obi. Shout out to him, member for 34 months with that nice gold and platinum badge. He said Jaffe came out. What? Jaffe came out of that show. You know what? We're going to go into the Obi because he came out covered in blood. He just murdered everybody on that show. And we'd never talked about it before because no one ever really knew about it. Nobody really knows what it is. But
so.
Fonz is making it for last week already, chat. So we're going to go ahead and move forward here. We got some topics. We're going to ramp some things up. And I want to start with something a little lighter. We'll let some people file in. Because people want to know what new games they can play for, pretty damn good value. And that would be obviously part of an Xbox Game Pass update that does feature 7 Days to Die. We've got Need for Speed, Bug Snacks, and Ubisoft games coming this month. And part of those Ubisoft games are Assassin's Creed Origins, right? Coming, is that this month or later?
Right.
I don't
I
care.
think it's
It is this
I think
month,
it's a
right?
little later. Yeah, it's a little later than the month, I think.
So that's
Aren't you getting Origins.
the 60 FPS Origins. It's going to be enhanced, right? If you haven't played that, it's definitely worth playing. And obviously,
D was right. D Batch
for
was
you
right.
though, shut up. For you though, Fonz, Bug Snacks is coming this month. Need for Speed,
Yes.
7 Days to Die. And I mean,
I've been waiting for Wiener Hands myself.
Turn up! I invaded my tax evasion game.
what?
Yeah, there's people making fun of it. It's like to the turn up who evaded tax evasion.
The turnip
Yeah,
who
the-
evaded
the-
tax evasion.
Yeah. The channel will say the right name, but it's a turnip game. It looks real cheesy.
Yeah, like it's a real
Ooh.
game about tax evasion.
Yeah.
Do you
I
play
don't
as
know.
Wesley
It's-
Snipes?
So
It's
Wesley
about
Snipes,
it's
the game.
about a turnip. So that's a lot of people making fun of it. So
Turnip
yeah,
tax
my-
evasion simulator.
there you
I
go.
don't know what that is, but they're also getting like the Ubisoft stuff. It's also on PC Game
Yeah, I
Pass.
saw that.
So it's
Hey.
you get the For Honor stuff in the March edition, whatever it's called. I don't know what you get in that, but it's also you can get it on the console and also on the PC through the Ubisoft Connect app, which actually has. I've been using it a lot lately with Valhalla. It has a cross save and cross platform on all devices. So if you play
Nice.
on your Xbox and you save your Valhalla there and you want to go play on your laptop, like when you're not home or whatever the hell, you can do that. It has all of it. You just take your
Okay.
save and go there. It's pretty freaking awesome, man. It's like legitimately awesome.
For those that want to carry their save from PC to console, etc.
Yep.
You know
everybody.
what sucks though, and something you didn't mention there is that they're holding a cross save behind a paywall.
Ooh.
Who is?
And if you have Ubisoft Plus, is that the benefit from it? Is you be able to carry your save from the PC to the console?
No, you just got it. Like, so the game is not the thing that sucks is you have to buy the game twice. But since you have Game Pass, you don't have to. You just have it there. It's not that the save is not locked behind Ubisoft Plus. at
Okay,
all.
good.
The Connect thing is there from what I could tell. As long as you just own the game, it'll sync in the cloud, kind of like Steam, right, or Xbox. Like if you go to different
Right.
devices, it works.
It'll put you in their server.
Yeah,
What do you
and then
think
when
you're talking about over here? Cloud saves at PlayStation 5? Come on.
So that's
Behind paywall.
actually a very interesting point. And it kind of ties into earlier this year, Ubisoft kind of let the lid off, saying that they're going to come to Xbox Game Pass, and then everyone freaked out and thought it was the $15 a month deal, which it doesn't look like to be, but it looks like it could be something. And I think they're starting to introduce it where it might be something that's included, but it's something like this where they can include their games and, as Zorka said, the cross platform saves and functionality.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we got to do a shout out to Dark CMF, $5 super chat. He's also giving away copies of NBA 2K22, and I'm assuming it's the cross-gen version with the next gen. I'm pretty sure it is, but it's a global key. It's one of 3. He's giving away 2 already. Pace yourself, Dark CMF. He's doing some damage right now in the chat already, dropping some
Guys,
games. So
pick up
shout out to him.
Yeah, pick up that code and play with dealer. Go play with it.
Well, Fonz, it's okay if you enjoyed it. You guys gave me shit for the longest because I got 36 days in 2K21, and now you're
No,
seeing why.
it's really fun. It's
Yeah, it
really
is.
fun, man.
It's a really cool co-op experience. But you know what?
Super trash.
We could-
Set him up.
we could go ahead and move forward. Hey, did you guys know that Kojima was bought by Sony, and that he's making exclusive games for PlayStation / That's just what people podcasted about last week, and then that night he came out and said, "No,
He
he's
said, "Fuck no," basically.
Yeah, he's not.
He's
He's
like,
not.
"Fuck no, I didn't."
He's not part of Sony first party. He's not as of right now associated with them in any way in that regard. He's just
It
having
was on
games
the
published
art
by
on the
them.
website. People saw the
he-
art, the banner on the art or whatever had Death Stranding on it. They're like first party, games or something, and it had Death Stranding on it. And
Yes.
people were like, "Oh my god, it's look at the art, it's leaked, it's there, they're buying them," and everybody was just like, "Calm the f down," like. And it was just him coming out saying, "No, we're not."
Actually-
Like they're just showing the first party games that they like exclusive to PlayStation.
Well,
and-
Kojima did tweet it
Here's
out.
what he said.
Yeah,
and
he
here's what he
retweeted
said
something, yeah.
verbatim. I'm going to say what he said here. He says, "We are going to
Independent.
remain independent. Fuck you, stupid ass fanboys." That was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he's in English. Has gotten better.
Yeah,
That's-
he was
that's,
blunt, man. Very
It gets
blunt.
a little toxic, but
And then the detractors came and said, no, he's just saying that because he's got to say that, man. But he's already signed. Like, no, he came out and said he's freaking independent. He's independent. Like, it is what it is. It's so funny that these guys, they make fun of Microsoft for buying up all these studios, and in the same breath, clamor for Sony to buy up studios. Like, make up your mind.
no, that's what it is. I mean, I remember this when Xbox first got the studios. They acted like, remember, like that doesn't mean anything. Games aren't coming. It doesn't mean nothing. And then as time came along and the community, because listen, I'm not going to say that Xbox community hasn't done stuff like this either. We've been on top of the acquisition thing since 2017, and we followed very closely, and there's news here and there. But
Yeah.
you know, that was something that that people had said. You know, they made fun of Xbox guys for doing that stuff and saying, "Oh, why would you do this? This is so stupid." And now, full circle, here we are. They're doing the exact same thing that Xbox fans did. They want their Sony to buy studios. They want them to compete on the level that Xbox has gotten to, because obviously it's, you know, has paid off in a lot of ways.
I thought that buying studios doesn't mean anything because it doesn't have games.
Yeah, exactly. That
That's
was
what I heard.
that's how
from
stupid
my
this is. That was the first counter argument when Xbox bought these studios. Like, it was like, oh well, your games are 5 years away, and who cares? Makes no difference. There's no way you're going to compete with Sony. And then, you know, the Bethesda happened, and then, you know, now the changes tuning, and I think Sony fans know that they are behind now, or that Xbox is ahead of them, or is ahead of Sony game studios in a lot of ways, you know. And I think that they want their studio to compete.
The day of reckoning is coming, Tim Dog. Eventually,
Keeler, I don't
maybe.
know what I don't know what you think, but I like this Tim here tonight.
Yeah, I
Tim,
mean, he's
you're on fire,
you know,
buddy.
he's on fire. Yeah, he just hit a fadeaway. So yeah, I mean, I remember when, and I don't know why we're going into this again, but I do remember when we were all asking for more studios and stuff like that, right? We're Xbox fans. We want more games and more hype around the brand. And, you know, when we finally got them, then we weren't allowed to be excited about what we had asked for. And then when they would hire, you know, pretty good talent for the studios, we weren't excited to be, you know, we weren't allowed to be excited for that. And then we're not allowed to be excited for anything that they actually announced, or even allowed to even speculate on what they might do next. It's constant rule. I'm tired of all these damn rules. But you know what?
There should be no rules.
They
man.
did come
Whatever,
out and
man.
say,
We
like,
talked
hey,
about it.
Kojima acquired, not so much. But Jeff Grubb came out when talking about this, right? And he said, hang on, that can't be the case, because last I heard, as of a week ago, Xbox and Kojima had a deal together.
Exclusive.
Yeah, what might this game be, Fonzarelli? And are you excited about Throat Babies, the game on Xbox?
Not at all. Not a big fan of Kojima,
Oh,
but
shit.
I do know what he brings to the table. I know that he's got a big following, man. So he does stir up the industry. So whatever he brings to the Xbox, you know, developers are going to eat it up. Not developers, the media. And I don't know. For me personally, he's just not somebody I don't enjoy most of his games. I
Fan
don't.
of him. You were never a fan of him.
Yeah, just I
But
just
you
don't.
respect him. You respect
I
him. and
respect.
think
I respect
that's the
what he
way I
brings to the
feel.
industry. Exactly.
You know, but you could
I
do.
don't re-
You could
yeah.
have that happen. People have
Yep.
tastes and different
Yep.
tastes.
Yeah.
I think he's borderline crazy with some of the stuff he does in his
Jeez.
games. But you know, that's good. That's a good thing. You need people like that in the industry, and I understand why some people like some of his games and stuff. But yeah, his games are a bit on the weird side for me.
Well, I want to ask the chat, what do you think that he could possibly be doing with Xbox? Do you think he's bringing over an existing
Something with
IP,
the- I
something
think it's
new?
with the cloud. I think
Something
it's
with the
to do
cloud.
Like
Something
that
with the
new
cloud.
studio. That
Yeah.
new studio that's being run by that
Kim
lady
Swift.
from Kim Swift. I think something like that, because he was talking about being interconnected, all this stuff, and people are thinking, oh, it's just mobile. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about he's using the cloud to
Mhm.
make a game that's going to be pushing technology, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to do something creative, something different.
I think
And he's
experimental.
talked about that, and that just very
And
experimental.
it's one of his projects. It's not his only project. So I think that people get confused there too. He's doing multiple projects, and I think this is one of them, obviously.
Pong
Yeah,
says,
of
"Why do I
course.
keep asking Fonz? He doesn't like games. He does like games. Just you know, not that
Very
game.
few of them. Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
way, 55% of you say you're not gonna play Bug Snacks on Game Pass.
That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah,
Let's
come on.
try it,
Microsoft
people.
spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to
Come
lock that bitch
on.
down day and day. Come on now.
They at least spent $10 on.
It
getting
looks
the
like
Game Pass.
DLC. I don't want to fucking play it.
Jesus Christ, that's loud. Hey,
Sorry.
At least he didn't clip though.
I didn't.
surprised.
That's true.
Sounded
We just
good.
gotta-
Sounded good.
yeah, just
That was
gotta.
the best stalker scream ever. And
It might have been, I get really passionate about my DLC games. Fuck yeah.
Hey!
Stupid.
Hey!
Seriously though, I brought this up last week, but Microsoft really did pay probably a decent amount of money to lock that game down on Game Pass.
Yeah,
And it's kind of weird to think about, but, it's just something to think about, I guess. Whatever. Hey, did you guys know that God of War Ragnarok is DLC? Well, at least according to the original God of War creator. He did say that to him, it kind of looks like DLC. Not that that's a bad thing, but it does look, and I don't agree with his statements.
He said the trailer makes it look like
The
DLC.
trailer makes it look like DLC,
yes.
but if that's the
all
case,
about
then
context,
and I'm going to
bro.
go in on this first, and I'll leave it to you guys. But if that's the case, then I would say that's every fucking game, or at least any game that looks reminiscently similar to any other sequel or prequel, whatever. I just don't agree with the wording at all. I don't agree with it. But yeah, I mean, like Gears 4 to 5, right? People by the same logic could try to say that's DLC, which is bullshit, right? I mean, I don't agree with the thought process there. But there were a group of people that were very, very emotionally invested in this, and he actually went on their show for some reason, some trash ass roundtable podcast. I just now kind of heard of it. But basically, these guys, they'll sit there and talk shit and lie about what we say all day, from what I hear, and also attack developers who just express a differing opinion on what they think God of War Ragnarok looks like, even though they're the ones who pretty much invented the franchise, made multiple multi-million selling games, and done a lot for a career as a developer that they have on a fucking podcast. For some reason, he went on there. It's weird that they get that emotional and yell at him and just yell bullshit. Then he makes a video overnight and destroys everybody with one of those mini nukes from Fallout 4. It was pretty brutal, man. Like, I shared it and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is, in a nutshell, what it's like to be over there when you don't have a clue what the fuck you're talking about. You accuse David Jaffe of saying all this shit, and you get the worst take on this or that, but you don't actually know. You're just lying your ass off. Then he comes out with a video and fucking destroys you. I mean, it was fucking horrible. It really was. And then you find out that the people are just talking shit. They're trying to talk shit on people like me or Colt Eastwood. It's like, shut the fuck up, King Trash, okay? Like, nobody gives a shit. Basically, here's what I got to say about the God of War thing. God of War Ragnarok looks awesome. I've always said it looks great. The last one was one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know why, as a developer, he can't go and say, hey, it does kind of look like DLC to me, even though Sony themselves said it did start as DLC, but it got too big for that. Why can't people accept that opinion, Tim Dog?
Listen, I followed this. I tried not to follow, but it got really heated. And listen, David has a lot of crazy takes, and he says a lot of crazy things, and he says things about Xbox a lot that maybe I don't agree with. But I have to say, in his defense, I listened to the podcast and I saw his video. He was misrepresented that he was saying that he trashed all these Sony games when he didn't. He gave them all good scores, and he showed that, and basically was, yelled at and screamed at. Listen, you got to have a little respect. Say what you want, and somebody told me this about David Jaffe himself. He is the God of War creator. That does stand for something, and you got to give a little bit of respect. So I don't know. I just didn't agree with the way the guy was treated. And then the way the whole community got up and, made him, the number one villain, when David, for all the time I've known him, has always been, in my opinion, more of a Sony fan than an Xbox fan. And he has a lot of hot takes. And that's just him. And I really believe him when he said, listen, it came out wrong. And I agree with Deal. You just said it right. He definitely should have used different words.
Well, maybe that's his real opinion, though. That's the thing. But I can accept that. And furthermore, Tim, when you say it's hot takes, the motherfuckers on the panel are guilty of calling almost every Xbox game DLC when they're clearly sequels or the same thing as Ragnarok. This is how stupid these people are. So, I feel like it's unfair to me because I'm held to a different standard. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel. I'm not on fucking IGN's corporate shit or none of this. This is what I think, and I say what I really think. And I think this is the dumbest shit I've seen, and such emotions over someone's opinion that clearly destroyed you with no lube. I can't fathom the vast amounts of stupidity someone has to have not to even look into what someone said and just take part of a statement or even none of a statement and get killed the next morning. Jeffy was sitting there sipping the cup of tea.
These are the same. Hold on, these are the same. I mean, this is not something that's new. These are the same fucking people that said Spider-Man Miles Morales can only be done on the PlayStation 5. These are the same people, and this is where this all comes down, right? This has been a year and a half of buildup of them being fucking irritated, right? God of War only on PS5. No, not really, actually. Horizon Forbidden West only on Nope. Sorry, no, not that either. So PlayStation 5, all this stuff, like they're pissed off about it. So when you hear, God of War, they're using a lot of the same assets, a lot of the same stuff that they build 2018's God of War on. It's like, of course they did. But it's like, I get it. Like, it was announced as a DLC at first. That's what they thought it was going to be, like dealers said. And then they were like, you know what? This is actually pretty damn ambitious as to be its own game. That doesn't make it a DLC. It just makes it very similar to the first one because we like the fucking first game. We love it. Yeah. Like, it's one of the best games ever made. I'm going to be there day one with Ragnarok. But that, like, just because Jaffe said that, he said, hey, the trailer does make it kind of look like a DLC. And it's like, listen to the guy. Like, yeah, okay, that's your opinion. Sounds about right. That's cool. Like, I don't get why you got so emotional about it. Just like they got emotional about Miles Morales. They got emotional about Horizon Forbidden West. And all these games that they said cannot be done because of the SSD because they're stupid. So you don't understand tech. You don't understand anything about it. You don't understand that they're using the same animations because it helps their profits. That's what Sony's doing, which is smart on the developer side. That's what they should do, and they're just making it improved. I think Ragnarok's going to be impressive, man. I think it's going to be impressive.
It's
and
not
people
about
need
not
to chill.
Yeah, Ragnarok looks good.
It's not about not understanding gameplay or tech. It's about not understanding context. It seems like context is lost on a lot of fanboys out there these days. On both sides of the situation here, guys. I'm sorry to say, even some Xbox fanboys sometimes. Context is lost on some of you. It just seems like they didn't understand that he didn't say that it was DLC. He says that it appeared to be looking like DLC.
Even if he did say it was, though, Franz.
Via the trailer.
This game, like everybody's already said, I've said it months ago when we were talking about this situation, that originally Cory Barlog said that this was going to be DLC that got way too ambitious. And so they decided to make it a standalone game. Therefore, it is not DLC, but what it is more of the same using a lot of the same assets. Therefore, people look at this and go, yeah, when they view that trailer, yeah, it looks more of the same.
I don't think so. It looks like a sequel. It looks like a sequel, but that's not even the point. Like, he should be able to say that he thinks it looks like DLC, and that should be like, okay, well, I disagree, but all right.
Okay, but that is the point, because it does look like more of the same.
Well, then that's every fucking game. That's every sequel almost.
Yeah, exactly. And
so I don't agree that every game and every sequel looks like DLC. I just don't.
Okay, but that's the thing. Why is that a bad thing to say, hey, it's more of the same? It's not. In this situation, it's not. With Horizon Forbidden West, it kind of was, because the storytelling and everything there was garbage. They brought it over and made it 10 times worse.
That's a full sequel, though. That's a sequel.
It is a full sequel, of course. But I'm just saying it's more of the same.
Yeah, like most games.
Yeah,
I think the context.
Go ahead, D. I want to hear from D because he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, I think the context is important. I think he was more talking about the trailer and the way they were advertising it, that we weren't really seeing a bunch of new stuff. Not that the game was DLC in general, just that, hey, they're not really showing us anything new. They should be showing us something new to entice us to get this game. I think that was the point that he was trying to make. At least that's how I took it. Now, DLC, I think, is determined not just by the assets, I think by the length of the game, the scope of it. Like we discussed already, this was supposed to be DLC. It got a lot bigger.
I still maintain that Miles Morales was DLC. I'm sorry.
Sort of. They had
it was. They
had to make it its own thing. Now, Call of Duty, all the games that we like, their sequels are pretty much the same thing with, a few little new things here and there. So this is just like game development. And I don't know, man, people just losing their freaking minds over nothing. And this guy is the creator of God of War. So his word has to have some type of weight to it. Even if you disagree with him, it has some weight to it, because listen, the God of War that you like today would not exist if he didn't create this game. So give the guy some respect. Like, I think he was nice enough to go on other platforms and to discuss there. And I think, you should treat them with respect. And if something is lost in context, then ask and verify it instead of
Well, just don't even
trying to
chew the
make it a
guy's head
moment.
off. Don't chew a guy head off for having an opinion. But I also think it's, I think like obviously we're all hyped for God of War. At least I am very much
Yep,
so.
yep.
And I
All
can't
of us
wait to
here.
play, like all of us. Like I'm going to play day one. But the other thing is it doesn't have that same holy shit wow factor like 2016 had.
Well, that's any sequel.
And that's
And
but
that's
no,
what
no,
they
what
were
I'm saying for
looking
that franchise
It's
specifically.
100%
I'm just
right.
trying to
Like, honestly,
avoid
when
going that direction because it's
2016
But
pointless
Well,
topic.
no, but that's a big thing because for me, when
Mhm.
2016 was shown, I wasn't like I can't wait. I was fucking scared because God of War is my favorite PlayStation
You're
franchise.
scared.
I was like, dude, I don't know if this could be pulled off. But the combat after playing it, all this stuff, I was like, whoa, they fucking did it, right? Like it was insane.
Yeah.
Like that to me, like that oh shit factor. Like I wish I could go back in time and experience that again. Kind of like Elden Ring. I'm never gonna experience that again. So that's what I'm saying is people don't have that first initial shock of what God of War is, how different it is, new Norse mythology.
But again, that's what I'm saying. That's any sequel. That's why I want to avoid going down the road because Shoguns is right. I don't want to sit on this topic forever. But at the end of the day, you just got to address things and say, just cut the bullshit. You're fucking literally sound like tears are coming out of your fucking face crying to somebody who built a pretty badass fucking game. We all remember playing God of War 1. Anybody who watches the show knows that we really like those games and we praise the hell out of those games. And, I think that if he wants to say something like that, guess what? He can fucking say something like that. And it don't matter if it's David Jaffe, Phil Spencer, or fucking Billy down the street. To cry like that, like a little bitch, and yell at the guy is insane to me.
It's weird. It's extremism at its finest, at its core. Like anyway, like we don't want to harp on this topic, but we're all in agreement here as on the panel. We all say that this is not DLC. This is a standalone game. Just as David Jaffe said it was, he just said it looked like DLC to him by that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
let me just say the quick thing is if you say this is DLC, then you could say the show is DLC, Madden's DLC. Everything. You could say everything. So you can't give it that moniker, or you can't just attach it to it. The only reason really that this is coming up is I think what Zorker said. I think when it originally revealed, it didn't have that wow factor, and when it originally was revealed, you had some guys in the community, even the Sony community, saying it was DLC because of the same animations and stuff like that. That's a new thing that started up in the last couple of years, that they're taking animations and saying, look, it's the same exact one.
They're Horizon Forbidden West animations. That's
developers have been doing this forever.
Yeah,
exactly.
And we already know that stuff, and I don't want to go into that stuff. I'd rather spend that time shouting out people in the chat and catching up on somebody's super chats and stuff. Zalker, line some of these up, brother, and then I want to give some people some shout outs in the chat. And by the way, we have over 1,000 people watching already, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two we're live. We got some really good topics coming up, actually. And let's try to get closer to 1,000 likes for the show. We do appreciate all the support you guys on the show. We got to give a shout out to For Havoc, Risk It for the Biscuit. Shout out to you, buddy. Moderator Shoguns. It's Timmy, as well as Toolman. Shout out to him. Channel member Splendiferous, Yodani, Darnell Hill, Dave, and of course Lethal Papa, Bosma, Lethal Papa, and Xbox Obi for helping rein in the chat. Punk. So shout out to you, Mav. Shout out to you. Go ahead, Zucker.
So we got Lord Starkiller. He says, piece of shit, blank podcast. He said the guy's name. I don't give a shit to say it.
King Trash.
We got Nano Polymath. Ponies attacking every game on Xbox and in Game Pass, but cannot take it without lube. When a dev has an opinion on DLC, take ya bitches. Damn. Damn, Nano.
Damn.
We got Narbox84. What are your opinions about Master Chief being replaced? I disagree with 343 Studios for this.
What?
Are you just making some shit up again?
I don't remember him saying. I don't remember.
He was replaced by Ash Cheeks in the latest episode of Halo.
I remember they tried in Halo 5 with Locke, but shit didn't go down well. So no. Hargy Shawnee says those gentlemen are quite insecure treating a guest like that. Pretty bad. Really doesn't matter if you disagree. Can't behave like that. True PlayStation fans need to call this out as garbage.
Yeah, and they're not. And like I said, they're not representative of the Sony community, and that's why nobody really rocks out with those guys. But
it is being defended as being passionate.
Yeah, fuck that.
Look. When did the word unhinged become the word passionate?
I don't know.
Not in my book.
Yeah.
We got Z Black Rider. He says, wow, a PS4 game looks like another PS4 game. Savage.
Shout out to Z Black Rider.
Jaffe, this Nano Polymath, he says Jaffe knew what he said and intended for attention. He thrives on reactions by being outlandish, but he didn't deserve the tirade of abuse and insults for an opinion.
Facts.
Yeah,
Fact.
there's no reason
Well,
to
he
defend, he
can't
can defend
prove-
himself.
That's the best way to put it, I think.
Nano nailed it right on the head.
Yeah, he did. We got Joaquin. He says, more of the same isn't a bad thing. There's a reason I still sleep with my wife after all these years. Splash noise.
Jesus.
Aw.
Exactly. Hey, he's right though.
Well, hey, man.
He's right.
Sat, whatever. Hey, float your boat, I guess. We got Mike. He says, these are grown men having meltdowns over a comment. How sad. Yep.
Super
And
facts.
we got Splendiferous. Don't be so toxic, guys. I never talk bad about Sony.
Never splendiferous.
Just shout out to you, Splendiferous. Others
And
inks
then-
around here somewhere too.
And we got one more. Last one I got. He said, Kiloki, he says, ponies keep saying you bots only got Halo, Gears, Forza, which is more of the same. Now they don't like when that argument is used against them.
Nope. And they've put themselves in that corner in virtually every single way going forward. And shout out to Achievement Daniel, member for 7 months. He says the only rule is to make good games. And so far, Xbox the highest rated publisher. And he's talking about in the history of Metacritic, correct? Since they started taking those things collectively, they are the highest rated publisher, apparently. He says fanboys seem to be crying a lot lately, and I don't think it's going to get better. Shout out to you, Achievement, because that's probably
How'd you? Hey,
factual.
Dealer, I just want to know, how did you get Zocker's eyebrows in the game?
Hey,
Is that really an option?
It's fucking DLC
Liquid-
fonts. You should have downloaded it.
Oh, I
eyebrow
didn't download
DLC,
the
bitch.
It was the Malacca pack. I forgot to download it.
Hey,
The Malacca pack with a little eyebrow looking at you.
Liquid Dog Man, he says those eyebrows are popping. Hey, last show we had some good fun. Oh my God, this is where Shepard becomes a man. And look, I just
Look at Dealer losing his virginity live on.
look at that, look at that. And she got magic powers too, so it's kind of interesting. But I got a helmet in this game, so you guys will stop making fun of my eyebrows in this footage.
I
But,
hope you have a helmet on right now.
hey, some of you guys, you need to cover your eyes for this scene. All right, Obi, cover your eyes. Hey, we got another one, Zucker. Go ahead and get that, and I'll move it forward.
Yeah, we got Motok says, are they ever gonna give Red Dead 2 update to 60 FPS along with graphics update on Xbox Series S or X? Love your
No.
content. Been playing my second playthrough on Red Dead 2. Keep up the great work. Nope, they'll charge you like they do for GTA, and you don't want to play that trash Red Dead game anyway, so it's all good.
Fuck you, Zocker.
Hey, shout out to Big Cloud. As always, he's having a. He says he's having a meltdown over dealer's fraudulent stuff, guys. Yeah, man, we just, fraudulent. It's just facts as usual, man. So thanks for showing up and actually checking out and hearing what we're saying, unlike people at the Wobbly Table podcast, whatever the fuck it's called. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and move forward.
Wobbly table.
You know what? God of War Ragnarok looks amazing. I'm gonna play it day one, and nothing's changed here. So DLC, whatever. Jaffe's allowed to have that opinion. I don't care. I just thought it was a good topic, and I thought it would mix things up a little bit. By the way, I got a shout out to over 1,000 people watching this again, guys. Hit the like button. We're moving to the next topic. There's a new what?
Get that blue snatch dealer.
No,
Havoc for
God.
Super chat. Oh God.
Oh, I'm done. Hey, Microsoft is building a private ad program that will basically let businesses swap in ads and free to play games. Just to sum it all up very quickly, and from what I can tell, there are some people making a big deal out of this, and I guess maybe some of that's from a lack of understanding, or maybe they have a better understanding than I do. But from what I know, I can explain it like this. All right, if you guys have ever gone back and played like a 10-year-old racing game and there's ads in it for shit that don't even exist anymore, these free-to-play games, apparently Microsoft had this idea that these free-to-play games should be able to easily swap ads in and out of, for example, billboards or signs maybe next to a road or whatever. Wherever there are already ads in a game, third parties can swap ads in and out seamlessly, almost kind of like a server-side update maybe. And this is supposed to make things easier. So let's say you're playing a big free-to-play game, and it's massively popular. They've got 3 to 6 month contracts with advertisers on some of these big places that are designed to have ads on them. And 2 years later, the game is not being played as much. Those ad spots reduce in value, and that stuff can be easily swapped out. So you can go from Domino's crusty ass pizza to then Bob's Rubber Band Emporium 2 years later, because the ad spot is not worth as much. They're not getting the kind of money for the contracts. For example, that's at least how I would understand it and explain it. So. Shut up, Fonzarelli. Also,
I don't think so.
Maybe, maybe they start building games around this though, Fonz. Maybe they say, "Hey, we're going to build a giant billboard and do evil things."
Now, I don't want to spread any rumors, but I read this on Twitter, and you know, everything on Twitter is golden. And somebody said that you'll be playing like Gear 6. And you'll be in the middle of a mission, and it'll just stop your game, and it'll go into a full-on 30-second ad for like Domino's Pizza, and then come back to your game afterwards.
Really?
That's what I heard, and I think that's what's happening.
No, they showed it.
Explain yourself.
Hang on. So Gear 6 should be in the middle of a mission, and you'll headshot a locust, and it'll freeze, and then you'll get an advert that flies into your face.
Yep.
Actually, they made a video.
It might be like Gamer Fuel or something.
They did that exact thing that Fonz is talking about, which is very relevant, because that's what made me just shake my head. But it's somebody in the community, or somebody who used to be a part of the community, that's just went totally rogue. And he showed Halo, a cutscene of Halo while you're playing it, and then it cut right off to a McDonald's commercial, and then it cut back into the game. That is not happening. And
that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
To suggest that is stupid, and to entertain it is stupid.
I just can't believe that somebody would lie to me.
So you're saying in the middle of the blue snatch scene here, like an ad would pop up, and I would have to
condom advertising.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No, like, for one, it's relegated.
Like commercial.
I'm not saying that the system couldn't be abused. I'm not saying that in any way whatsoever. And it's up to us to hold them accountable for what they are saying. And if what they are saying is correct and it remains to be true, it will be relegated to free-to-play titles, right? Unless developers start purposely building games around this free-to-play stuff, which I do not have any doubts in my mind that some publisher will push them to make a bigger billboard here and there for this purpose. I don't know. But until this happens, until I know, there's no point in fear-mongering it. You know, we don't know enough, and we just don't have any examples to point to. But it is free-to-play stuff, and right now, Microsoft have one free-to-play game. I mean, Halo, right? Maybe two.
And guaranteed, it's not going to stop your game.
Yes,
throw you
that's the main thing. The main thing to get all the bullshit and throw it away, because that's what people are trying to suggest, that your game is going to cold cut to a commercial in game. That shit's not happening. Obviously, we never stand for it, and they wouldn't even attempt it. What you're talking about is what Dealer talked about, or maybe when you're in the game before the game, like a waiting room or something. There might be something there. I don't know. And people would probably go crazy about that. But your gameplay is not going to be affected by 30 frames per second.
So apparently the sources say that they're only going to do it with private companies and people that want to do it, and Microsoft's not taking any of the profit. So the sources note that Microsoft doesn't plan on taking a cut of the ad revenue and is instead focused on building out the Xbox ad network. The company reportedly intends to allow the game developer and ad tech company to share the revenue from the ads. One of the sources speculated that the reason Microsoft isn't interested in taking a cut of the ad revenue is because it wants to give developers of free-to-play games more opportunities to make money. So they're looking to secure customers, and very specific customers that relate to gaming, that could be on billboards and free-to-play games, stuff like that, and race car games, and try to make it not invasive to the gamer.
So, you mean I don't have to spend $70 on a game that throws Monster Energy drinks in my face?
Yeah, so the new program could help developers that make free-to-play games without having them to rely on in-game paid content such as character skins and passes. The program could also serve as a way for brands to reach younger consumers who may have been hard to target elsewhere because they don't watch TV, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if developers can have a way of funding their game, and it's a free-to-play game, it's a win-win situation. Like, you got to be a complete moron to think that halfway between your level, or you're about to, do something impactful in the game,
That's
you're going to
level
pause
up
it for a commercial. Like, and click on the link. Like you're it's ridiculous. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Am I
It's
the
a
only
free-to-play
troll
game.
here? Like, if I was fucking Sony, I'd have like be a real gamer PlayStation, like right there, like on a free to play Xbox game, like advertise. Like, what does that mean? I'd fucking
Yeah.
troll.
In your
I'd
You know
buy-
what?
MLB
It's
23 ad.
just, it really,
Don't give them any ideas, bro.
I like that. I like the idea. I like the way this was handled because this subject infuriated me when I saw the thing. Because to imply that is like, come on, like, is it really gotten that bad that you have to imply stupid stuff that never gonna happen? And as Zorka just pointed out, they're looking for ways to make it non-invasive. Okay, they know the last thing in the world they're gonna do is when you're gonna get your level up to 10 to cut to a Burger King commercial or something where you're gonna have to sit there for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean, just like, come on.
I get
I'm totally fine.
the doubt. I get people not wanting to give companies the benefit of the
course.
doubt. It's human nature, but at the same time, I think that are you
sense.
surprised that people are running with this like they're on fire, Tim? Like we saw it throughout the years. Xbox One X, everyone panicked and thought all this shit that it was, all these things were going to happen with how you upgrade, and it was the change and the unknown, and then xCloud. Everyone thought that they were getting rid of the consoles because they announced fucking xCloud. Like it's just another thing that people are going to run with and fearmonger because it's just the only way some of these guys
it's already
can live.
happening. It's already
It already happened. But that's the thing. Like you said, fearmongered. That's the thing. It's just like to even suggest that or to say that to me is just it's like, come on, have a little common sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
think it's
we
more- I think it's
might
more to
not like
do-
the idea,
Listen.
but it's not gonna be the absolute.
I
worst
don't know,
thing.
man. After playing like a game like Fortnite, to me is for like a little bit of a younger audience, right? A lot of younger people play that game. I downloaded it because they had the no build mode, whatever. Now it takes like 8 clicks like to get to play the game. Like you have to like go through all their damn advertisement, then their battle pass, and I'm like sitting there going like, what the fuck is like why? Like why is this here? Like why is there so much advertisements from Epic on their front of their game before I can even queue to go play your fucking game? Like it's annoying. The game that does it very well is Warzone and Apex. Apex, you just start the game, it's like, hey, welcome, here's the stuff, escape, that's it, play, that's it, you're done. Like you just hit play. Like same with Warzone, the same thing. Hit escape and then you hit play and then you're done. Like it's insane how much like Epic Games is putting so much stuff in front of you. I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want
No,
that where
wow.
it takes me forever.
That's
Yeah,
invasive.
but if it's something that's non-invasive, like you get billboards or you get soda cans on the ground or whatever from
Right.
particular companies, if it doesn't really mess with the gameplay at all, and it's a free-to-play game, this is just another way for these developers to get more ad revenue. And
But
more
when
power
does
to them.
that
I
stop,
don't have a
though?
problem.
Especially when you got a company that's already making billions on a game that's free to play,
Well,
and
it
they're
doesn't.
well over
We
profitable,
know
and they
that.
just keep stacking this shit in
we
there.
know that. It'll never stop. I mean, they're going to continuously look at ways to try to get that ad revenue, that continuous ad revenue. And if they could switch out ads for new ads to get more revenue, they're going to continue to do it. And if that's what it's about, really, at the end of the day, if there's already billboards in there with an ad, who cares if it's switched out in a couple of years or a year or whatever time that they're giving
I
for
mean,
that.
I have no problem when games like NBA, they'll switch to the whatever. I'm just making this up, but the sprite player of the game, like that stuff, because that really does happen in real sports telecasts. But like, I think that just like, I think we covered this topic very well because it's annoyed me because I got a lot of comments in my DMs and I did not answer them because it's like, bro, like, come on, like this isn't going to happen, and
This isn't for people our age group.
let's start exactly, and let's start ringing the alarm bells when actually something does happen. Because one thing about this community, I think we proved more than any other community in the console space, if they do something stupid,
We're
it's gonna
speaking
get
up.
fixed. That's going to get fixed that day, or their life's going to be miserable.
You mean
Exactly.
the Xbox Live,
and
the
if it's
Xbox Live
so,
money
like-
jump and all that? Not to mention this
Yeah.
isn't, and this ad thing is like, I get we tackled it, but this isn't for people our age group. Like,
Exactly.
this is like back in the day, people used to advertise
Fucking
on freaking,
Roblox.
like it's for it's remember advertising, like, oh, look at that, it's in the newspaper. That's where people used to go to. It's like now it's like then it was TV and then it was whatever. It's like now it's like younger audiences don't use any of that shit.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Well,
find
maybe we
those
got to wait
people.
10 years from now.
Before you
because-
hit your 1100 level, we just want to
1100 level.
Congrats on the level.
Hey, speaking of 1100, we almost have 1100 people watching the show, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two that we're live. And you know what? Hey, we talked about a patent Sony filed, what was it, like 10 years ago, that would literally pop a data ad up in the middle of your game. Like they have a patent about this, but we didn't freak the fuck out. We said the same shit. It's a patent or it's this or that. And until we see some stuff like that, we're not too worried about it. But let us know, chat, if you're worried about it down below. And by the way, look down and hit that like button if you haven't. Let us know your thoughts. How can you get these super chats that popped up while I get into the next topic here, sir?
Yeah, we got. Yeah, I got you. We got Dark CMF says private ad for Commander Shepard's pleasure. I like it. We got Narbox. When do you think they will release Gear 6? Years from now.
50 million years from now.
I'd say
they're going to give them a lot of time. They're going to give them a lot of time.
They have a project before that, which people are saying is Gears remake, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we got Splendiferous, Shepard Spice, be the man you want to be without blue. I have no idea what that means, but here we go. We got Shoguns, member for 31 months. If they add ads, they better release complete games with no bugs. Fact. Yodani,
they should do that anyway.
Yeah, no shit. Yodani says PlayStation guys will be watching ads on Xbox exclusives anyway from YouTube. Lol. Damn.
Yodani savage.
Yeah, we got Dark CMF. He says effing Billy's greatest hits, $6 plus SNH.
Billy's greatest hits.
Havoc says, what's this common sense you speak of? And then
now, Zachary, you sound a little more enthused, okay?
Listen, bitch.
Starting to put
I'm trying
me
to keep
sleep,
up with
bitch.
these. The goddamn freaking chat keeps going, so I'm trying to keep up with them and read.
That's because there's real people in the chat.
He's doing good.
Yeah, we got Nano Polymath. This is RDX ads and Bug Snacks coming soon.
Oh, God.
Art emoji.
Nope.
You said more energy. Fuck you, man.
Edward Wienerhands. Here we go.
Did anybody get the turnip name of the game? Or do I actually have to look that up?
The tax evasion turnip. Oh my god, so stupid. Was that the last one?
God. No, we got Nikki So Clean. He says, thanks for showing up, D and Tim Dog. Thanks for being on time and not drawing a Bath Fonz at Grounded Gamer.
Hey, Nikki, fuck you. No.
He hates the Grounded Gamer name. It's great. I tried to warn him.
I had permission last week.
Oh shit. Okay, so we're good, Zucker. We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, we're talking about Jeff Grubb once more. He's been on the show. He's got the nicest hair in the land. He says that Jedi Fallen Order is 100% to be shown at Star Wars Celebration in May. Woo! And this is I've shielded for Jedi Fallen Order a considerable amount, but it's because I really enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order.
I think we've seen the same hour loop gameplay over and over on this show. In fact,
no, it's always new Jedi Fallen Order gameplay because
bullshit. Bro.
I've gone through it multiple times. Fonz, you should try
it. But I've seen. I'm just saying I've seen the same gameplay over and over several times on this show. But anyways,
it was Series X enhanced. I had to do it again. Okay.
I never played the enhanced.
Can't do that.
Though. After they enhanced it, I never tried it again.
He said now it's 60 frames and high res. Fuck that.
I should try it again. You're right.
Have you played it, Dealer, on the last enhancement?
Yeah, that's like I said. I've shown it on the channel.
Okay.
It's so good, man. That game is like legitimately one of the best games from last generation. People need to check it out. I remember it was the weirdest game ever in the world, right? Like they announced it with a guy sitting in the crowd at E3, like, yeah, there's a game coming next year. See you then. And it was just like, okay. And then that was it. And then all of a sudden it comes out and you're like, this thing is fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's like one of the top rated games. Should have won Game of the Year, Keegley's. So
I mean,
what won that year? What won that year?
Not a game that I thought was better. I remember.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I can't remember. Something won that year, but it wasn't better than Jedi Fallen Order to me. Yeah. I just remember being upset, saying, "No, man, Jedi Fallen Order should have won it." That game was like it was a sleeper.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Sekiro it was definitely better than Sekiro.
It was Sekiro. And then I think Apex Legends was up for it too.
Well, you know who else is up for it is the chat, because right now 78% of them, and we'll have to find out what's wrong with the rest of them, but 78% of them are excited for Jedi Fallen Order 2, if that's whatever the hell it's going to be called. It was a good game, chat. Come on. I know Ashtray
My
Gaming is one
brother-in-law
of those
beat that
that say
game
they are not.
13 times, bro.
You need to talk to that man.
I know. I told him,
Everything
like,
was
"You
good in
alright?"
that game. The action, like the story was amazing. The graphics were good. You know, it had like a few little problems here and there. And I'm just imagining what the sequel is gonna look like. It's gonna be so much better, man.
Yeah, 42 in the chat, or A2 in the chat says single player games are dead, quote. Yeah, I mean, the fact that people were saying that, and even some publishers were implying that single player games are not viable, I've always just, and even Microsoft have said stupid shit like this before, alluded to it, and I've always said, no, you need to make quality shit that people want to fucking play, and you can sustain, and I know that's the harder thing to do than to make, a multiplayer game or to try to get a free-to-play game to hit, but, people appreciate this type of shit, and it takes real skill, talent, not that it doesn't in other games and stuff, but you really got to be bang on, you really got to be on your shit to pull off a great single-player narrative-driven game like Fallen Order or any of them really that you can think
It's
of.
just a scare. It's like it's harder to do it, right? Like that's why they get like scared when something like Guardians of the Galaxy, which is amazing, didn't sell as well, or didn't do this, and then it gets in Game Pass and blows up.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things, and Microsoft was guilty of kind of saying that it was getting to the point was because, their answer was because you had to make 5 million sales to recoup. Now it's 5 to 7 million, and if you didn't hit that number, and if you didn't have the share like Sony has, the game's a failure. And I do think there was a time where Microsoft was really kind of not in that boat. But obviously, after the acquisitions and now Bethesda, they are far from that attitude.
Mhm.
But it was there for a little, and I used to argue for single player games. It's just that the Quantum Break thing was really a disaster for them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Not to mention, I think David Gaffey or whatever, he just says Jaffe, whatever. He said that Tencent offered him like $100 million to make a game, and he was like, in today's day and age, that's like a low end AAA game, like for that price.
I think
Like,
that's a
you're not
little
getting-
exaggerative, but yeah.
it's
Shadow of
really
the Tomb Raider had a $100 million budget, and that's a big ass AAA game.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? No, I honestly, it's a high number, and like I said, you have to get a lot of sales to recoup it. So now it's a little different. The landscape has changed. Game Pass. There's different ways to sell your game. A lot of people more open to selling on PC now. But there was a time where the single player was becoming a little bit of a bigger boogaboo, and Sony was leading the charge. And I think that fans knew that, and that's why at that time Xbox was getting their asses handed to them. But it's a learning experience, and now it's funny because Xbox's biggest game this year is going to be a single-player game only.
Hey, let me give a shout out real quick, D, and I'll come back to you. Bright Tundra with that nice platinum gold Xbox badge. Shout out to you, brother, channel member. He says, "Yo, panel." Now he gets to watch the show every single week since his days at work changed. He said people should play Weird West. The game's being sleeped on. Cowboy hat, weird smiling emoji.
It's pretty fun. That game is actually pretty fun.
Cold Eastwood, yeah, he's been playing it a little bit.
What is it? What is it like? Can you give us a little bit?
It's
of
like
a
the
background?
Ascent. It's kind of like the Ascent almost.
Top
a little bit,
down.
but like in the Weird West, top down. You shoot shit up and take them out in slow mo and use abilities, and it's kind of weird. It's pretty dark. You're in a western, and you just kind of follow the path and kill things. It's pretty fun. It's very linear, but again, it's decent. It's okay. Like if you have other things to play, obviously, like that for me, it's kind of a chill game when you're in a party. Like you just sit there, play, have a good time. That's it.
A big shout out to Risk It as well. Risk It for the Biscuit. Those guys do a podcast. Check them out. He says Jedi Fallen Order was the Star Wars game that there needed to be to revive the Star Wars games. Until then, they've pretty much been trash. For a bit anyway. Some of them definitely. Yeah. He says pretty sure everyone thought Jedi Fallen Order wasn't going to be all that great. And you know what? We're some of the few that were very excited about the game once we learned that it was a more traditional Metroidvania third-person action-adventure type game with, furthermore, no microtransactions, which you got to applaud EA when they do something like that,
Can we just get another open
who
world
was
game?
behind that game, too?
Respawn.
Yeah, that's another reason why we were excited about it.
Yes.
Because of Respawn.
What's up, new from Monkey Punch?
Respawn is top. Respawn to me is top really
Aren't they
good.
making a lot
they were the
more Star
only-
Wars games?
Yeah,
also,
they're making a first person Star Wars game, and then they
Vince
also are
Zampella.
they're making this one, and then they are the one studio at EA that told EA, no, we're not using the Frostbite engine.
They
And
said,
we're
"Fuck
using-
you."
They said we're
They
using
said
Unreal
nope.
Engine on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and that's what happened. They're like, we just got the better developers that are more experienced with it. Stop forcing it, and because of the sales and Apex Legends having 100 million people, they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want, and EA's like, okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
whatever.
What did Apex use Unreal Engine, right?
Let me check. Actually,
I know Snow Frostbite is extremely advanced in its technical capabilities, but it is much harder to work with. Apparently, it's a little bit more bespoke.
they're using the.
I do
source-
like Frostbite,
They're
though.
using
Don't
the
get rid of
source
that
engine.
Source engine, same as
Yeah.
Titanfall.
Right. It's Titanfall. Let's just be honest. And Titanfall 2. Two awesome games. Respawn is a top tier developer.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's the Valve. It's the modified Valve source engine.
Yes.
well, let's go ahead and modify the topic. We do got to move forward here. Brigaders Blue, by the way, says 1,000 plus watching. Where's the likes, everybody? Definitely. If you can hit 10% on likes of people watching by the end, man, that's pretty average, I would say. And we get some pretty good ratios there. So we appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you very much.
No bots. No
No bots. There's some people in the community that are definitely, they got some weird things going on. Oddworld developer is basically railing on Sony over PlayStation Plus deal. And I'll give you some full context and then explain that it's their own fucking fault. So they signed a deal with PlayStation Plus.
Bad
and
contract.
It's a bad contract. And they basically signed a deal that was only going to give them royalties on, I think, 100,000 downloads. And they ended up getting 4 million downloads. And this,
man,
this caused the Oddworld Soulstorm developer. I actually just bought that game, by the way. It's interesting, but yeah, it caused these guys to complain. And maybe there's more to this story. I fully acknowledge that, but as of right now, I understand it to be that they are complaining or have complained that they got way more downloads than they expected, and they wish they had a time machine because they got a little greedy after the fact and wish that they would have got more royalties on more of the downloads because they underestimated what the hell they were going to get.
Didn't we talk about this before on how?
No, I talked about it on Lucas' show.
No. About how these services are going to be changing, the landscape in terms of them building contracts and stuff for these services. When they're putting their games in there, they're going to have to get smarter about it. They're going to have to start saying, "Hey, if X amount of downloads are happening, then we should get more, money." Or
maybe they could
something
only
should
get
happen.
100,000 royalties, and maybe they could only get that.
You never know. But again, it's something that these people are going to have to invest more in, like lawyers or something, and try to make these contracts. Because honestly, this is something that's going to continue to be an issue for a lot of small developers.
Yeah.
They'll just use the same lawyers that do the deals, like when they make indie movies or whatever for, hey, this is going to go on Amazon only, or I think they're just going to kind of use the same fast track thing. The only difference is it's like people downloading it, right? Like it's just the same thing as viewing the movie. So that's what they got to do is just divvy it up, see what's up, and then also be like, because now Sony's going to be doing this little thing where they're going to try to lock down first party games like Shadow Warrior 3, things like that. And Xbox is gonna have to compete with them, and that's good.
Really
that's good.
It's fresh for the industry, this type of service-based stuff, and there's a lot of things that have to change. Like this is not the normal.
Ask around, if you got some friends in PlayStation Plus, or just look it up. And that's why I'm thinking surely somebody there looked it up and said, what is the average download rate of a PlayStation Plus game? And they had to, it's a nice round number, 100K. It's almost like they were handed that number and they had to take it or leave it. Maybe they just wanted more, but at the end of the day, even if you wanted more, you still signed it. And it's hard to complain about something you knew about the terms on it and signed.
Well,
I think they got finessed a little bit, to be honest with you, because it just doesn't sound right. I think it should be like a tier system. Like, you get set amount for 100K download, 300K, you're getting more, 1 million, you're getting more, so on and so forth. I think they should have, combed over that contract with a fine-tuned comb It makes no sense that they're only getting paid for 100K downloads, and that thing did over 4 million. There's something wrong there. The
That's on
math
them,
is
though.
just not
That
adding up.
honestly, it's on them. And dealer said it perfectly. It's like they got greedy after the fact. It's like it's not really greed per se, but it's like, man, what we could have had if we only signed a better contract here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Shout out to Heartgeat again, man. $5 super chat. He's giving away a copy of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Yeah, he's giving away the Great Edition, the Chaotic Great Edition. It's special, guys. There's a code in the chat.
I'm ready.
Snatch D-Badge, stop F5 in these things.
Come on, man.
Freaking code.
D-Badge ain't getting these codes. Hopefully, let us know if you want it in the chat, guys. Shout out to Noof Nukem. Shout out to Top Notch Box. Shout out to Devoltas, as well as Jedi Knight Peter, Nine Lives, and so many others. I'm sure I'll give some more shout outs for the end of the show. You guys, again, you're amazing. For Havoc, Hargeet, channel member, you're fantastic. Giving away games, just can't say enough. Again, guys, let's go ahead and move forward. Unless somebody else has something to add to this. I mean, PlayStation Plus, they got royalties on 100K. Maybe someone in the chat has something to say. But pretty straightforward. You signed yourself into a corner here, kind of.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I know it's money is money, and these companies are very greedy. But I think it would be in Sony's best interest to try to make amends with them, because 4 million to 100K is a huge deficit there, man.
Yeah,
honestly.
Well, the one thing that I would say is that you would make that stupid type of deal. It's an old saying: "You're cutting your nose to spite your face." You know, that's the type of deal you do, and then you're keeping it exclusively off of Xbox. It's a double shit whammy.
Yeah, we don't know how they do their deals either. At least with Xbox, they're transparent enough to tell us that every deal is different with them on Game Pass. With every.
You know what we do know? What we do know? If this was with Game Pass, they would have got paid for every single download, or they would have got paid substantially more.
But it depends, because we don't know the specifics. But we were told that each deal is different for every game on.
Yeah, but we don't hear developers crying like this, though. We never one developer cry like this.
I remember hearing about one specific developer. I forgot which one it was, but they were crying about something similar.
No, I know what you're talking about. I remember.
Yeah. But
Paradox Interactive ex-CEO was
early on.
Paradox Interactive ex-CEO, behind City Skylines, basically said after he was out of the company that he wishes he would have gotten more for the game and being in Game Pass. But the weird thing is they then signed another deal and the game stayed in there for a lot longer. So I don't know. I have no idea why you would sign something you're not happy with, unless you just, here's the only reason that would happen is because you signed something, you went in there and it blew your expectations of downloads out of the water. And you're like, I should have gotten way more than this.
Well, have more confidence in your game next time, maybe. It's the bottom line,
I guess so.
Are you doubting?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know the chat's thoughts on this, because I suspect that this is something we will hear more of in the future, not only on PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Premium, especially Xbox Game Pass in particular. These things, we're going to start hearing more and more on this kind of stuff. And the poll is the Soulstorm developer wrong for feeling this way? Are they wrong for feeling like, hey, wronged by PlayStation Plus, or for not getting more royalties on the download royalties, whatever? I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong for feeling this way.
Little fun tidbit. I got this from when I went to a show. I talked to a Microsoft executive, and at the time,
you were awake.
At the time when I was awake, Oddworld was the odds-on favorite to be. It was Oddworld and Halo to be that game that was going to be the huge game, and a lot of people were in the Oddworld camp.
Oddworld,
yes. And,
Oddworld was originally on the OG Xbox.
Yes, that was what I'm saying. They were saying it was going to be the big hit, and some people were like, "Well, there's this game Halo." But most people in the most camp, I believe, were in the Oddworld camp.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you know,
they were wrong. Yeah.
Halo was the
dopey ass Oddworld over something as grand as Halo. Like, a weird group of people chose Oddworld.
It just goes to show you, though, how you never know. And like in this case, I kind of feel like they sold themselves short. And when you do that, you're only one person to blame. Next subject.
Yeah, For Havoc in the Super Chat says it was a bad contract they signed, and Dark CMF giving away another copy of NBA 2K22
Shout out
Global.
to Dark CMF and Hargy and these guys every week spending a lot of money. I mean, really, we got to do something for these guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Just to give back. I mean, Dark and Hargeet and these guys constantly. I mean, if you're coming here and you're new to the chat and stuff like that, these guys just throw codes and.
That's the crazy thing, though, Tim. Like they do this, and they've been doing this for a while, and nobody has asked them to do this. They've done it on their own accord. So again, we've done things. Hargeet's super generous behind the scenes. I've sent Hargeet some things to try to repay him for things, but I don't know what we can do for Hargeet. He's already got the best beard I've ever seen. And
Hargate's he's the man, but
Dark and Hargeet are both
Dark. I just read some of the stuff that he's done with the giveaways, I never really talked said something to him, but I just want to say thank you for all that you've done. I do notice it, and you're constant. And for somebody who's in every week, it is noticed and it is appreciated.
It's so much so that last week people noticed that you weren't in the chat. They're like, where the fuck is Dark CMF? And why isn't he in the middle of Costco? But yeah, shout out to Dark and Hargy. Again, we talk to these guys pretty often, and they're both great humans that do a lot of great things, honestly.
You know what?
Nano too.
I'm sorry. I never liked the guy. I'm in parties with him constantly. He sucks, dude. I didn't get one code, and I still don't got my 5 guys. Fuck you, Hargate.
The best was when Hargate was like, Tim, I think your Brazil giveaway is $500 you have to pay. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I did the math and the import tax and so. You got to give the guy $500. I'm like, whatever it was. But he was such a help with that. I mean, a guy to send out and to give his for the giveaway. That stuff is always remembered, and in time we'll be definitely got something for you, Hargate.
He's going to give you the meanest dumpster foot job.
I'm going to get you something. I have an Xbox One scarf if you want, but I don't think you want that.
Tim, stop trying to bribe Hargate.
Can I get?
No, I gotta owe him. He took care of me with.
What are those socks? What are those socks with the little individual toe sleeves? Hang on, Tim. Hang on a minute. What are those socks with the individual toe sleeves called?
They're called the Bleeding Edge toe socks, and I want them.
We're gonna send you. We're gonna send. We're gonna send.
That's why Tim was sleeping. He was so comfortable. He's like, these socks are amazing.
Bro, you can send him that and Hargeet. I've got the Sea of Thieves sleeve tattoo arms, and I will send you that as well.
Hargey, I will shut the show off for you so you don't have to hear this crap no more. That's the best gift anyone could give you. Hey, but we got to give a shout out again, the mods and everybody. Again, Dark giving away a copy of 2K22. Everyone in the Super Chat, all the channel members, patrons, everyone watching. You guys are awesome. I think you know that. We literally bore you to death telling you this every week.
People telling me that I'm a hater. Listen, I talk to Hargeet almost every day in parties. Relax.
You hate on Hargeet every day?
That's why I'm in parties with him. I got to humble him. Everybody's like, you're so nice. I'm like, listen, Hargeet, you suck at this game. I need you to be better. I need you to be better, bro.
Oh, shit. Hey, by the way, Undead Labs, they have an update on State of Decay 3. They say remote work can be challenging, and last week marked the very first time in the entire Undead Labs studio met in person. We had an awesome time. Yeah, he's talking about it takes a diverse community to bring a game to life, and this is ours. And they obviously were posting stuff about how they're finally getting back together in the studio. This could mark a big occasion for you, Fonzarelli, because you can finally get your favorite game ever.
Bro, they're sitting around showing each other pre-renders of this game.
The deer that's pissed off in the woods?
Because, they're still in pre-production. But anyway, hopefully they get back on track. Honestly, I want to see a good-looking State of Decay 3, man. I think we've all wanted that from State of Decay 2. We were looking forward to that game so much. We wanted more from it, and we just didn't get that. not saying you can't like the game, folks, but just that running animation. There was so much about it I just didn't like. It was too much like the first in that regard. I want this one to be a fresh start for them. I want this to look much better. It doesn't have to be hyper realistic or photorealistic, but at least look a little realistic.
It's Unreal Engine 5, so that's
if they get the game looking realistic, get rid of all those janky animations.
Yeah, the running.
Honestly, that's all they really need to do.
I mean, we know how the game could look better. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to look better. It's running on Unreal Engine 5, and I'm sure it will at least look better. I just want the game to just make it through development, and I want it to come out and be a great product like we all do.
I want it to have a specific game mode to where you can co-op with your friends, but also co-op against other people co-oping with their friends. Like, have bases you can attack and stuff and take from them. Dead. I think that would be amazing.
Hey, shout out to Def Side. Shout out to you, buddy. $5 Super J says RDX always slapping fanboys with knowledge. A great show. Keep it up. And like always, Zauker's a fraud.
Yeah.
Zauker?
Leave Zauker alone.
You leave me alone, dude. All right?
I'm here.
A little bit.
Look, we play 2K together. Things are different now, bitch.
It is. I try to get you your triple double, and you couldn't fucking do it.
I had 11 blocks, right, and 9 rebounds and almost 30 points, and I could not get this last fucking rebound. So Zauker's intentionally missing shots. I was like,
dude,
fuck it, it's just not gonna happen. Don't worry about it.
And then the second half, the NPC, like the other team, never missed a shot.
Nope.
Like legitimately was just making everything, and dealers like, fuck.
Oh, the game's a blast. Hey, shout out to Only on Xbox. New channel member. I need some more of those guys. Giving away games. I gotta say that again to channel members and patrons. I'm gonna start a Discord thing at the beginning of next month, and we'll be giving away games in there through Patreon and channel memberships. So if you're not a channel member or on Patreon, check those links out. Obviously, we got to. I mean, any final thoughts on the State of Decay thing?
I just want to say real quick. Somebody in the chat said, "It's just another zombie game. It's been done to death." And I understand that. We have seen a lot of zombie games, but honestly, how many of them were really that good?
Yeah,
not many of them. And I just think that they could really do something really special with this one. Again, if they put more co-op into it, or like I said, you fight against other real people out there, including the zombies as well being in there. I think it could be a lot of fun, man. It could be a blast.
Well, especially if it's an open world, right? Like, the game that kind of competed with it when it came out was Days Gone.
Yep.
And a lot of people really liked that game, even though I didn't like it too much. Yeah, there hasn't been outside of Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood, zombies wise, it's been kind of dominated by Call of Duty. And if they just take some of this, animations, like you said, make it a little better quality, the visual, art style, I don't care. Like, as long as it plays well, is decently looks well.
Bitch, you care about the graphics.
Oh,
I do, but if you look at, what I'm saying is, if you look at WoW, look at that fucking thing.
Yeah, it looks ugly as fuck. Like, what about it?
It looks ugly, and everybody's like, can't wait, new expansion. I'm like, shut up.
That's those people.
Like, it's over. Like, I'm a massive WoW fan. I'm a massive WoW fan. What I'm saying is
Xbox paid for graphics priority with Unreal 5. Okay, so fuck whoever made that shit
up. They
up.
use Unreal 5 and they have the same.
But they're not going to be able to do it without. They're not going to be able to do it without the PS5 SSD.
Hey, shout out to KY Bob. He's got a podcast. Check him out on Thursday. And shout out to Riskit. He's saying Discord. Obviously, again, guys. I mean, State of Decay. I think we've all said it before. We're pretty excited. One thing's clear from that pre-rendered cinematic is there's a pissed off deer out in the woods. And you got to take it down with a crossbow.
Yeah, that deer ain't taking any shit.
He's fucking tired of today's political climate.
You think I'm Bambi, bitch?
The deer is pissed. He just got the wrong order at McDonald's. He's tired of this shit.
That headbutted the vending machine and got shampoo and pissed off.
You got Xbox soap out of the vending machine. Yeah, remember that one. But yeah, I mean, again, hey, this is Mass Effect 3 running on Xbox Series X. I got a helmet on covering up my big ass eyebrows. Hey, well, let's go ahead and move forward to a new Xbox Series X chips that are being worked on. We didn't cover this last week, I don't think.
I thought you were going to talk about the new Xbox, the new box coming. No?
What?
No!
What are you talking about?
No!
Tim's like, shut the fuck up.
There ain't no box.
Hey, this is being reported on by multiple outlets, and I talked about this in my last video. It's a common sense fucking thing. They're building, and the worst part is I build a video on this shit. I spend hours and hours and hours and hours building this video, and people are like, love this video. By the way, I don't think this isn't going to be a more powerful box. Like, I literally said all this shit in the video. But yeah, it's a slim model of an Xbox. Apparently, they're working on a new APU to lower the power consumption. Therefore, you lower the heat. You can put a smaller power supply, put less circuitry, put a smaller fan in the bitch. I mean, they're going to save a lot of money with this redesign, you know? So that means we might save some money with this redesign, Tim Dog.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, this is common sense. They might go to a different. We talked about this a lot pre-Xbox Series X. The size of the chip. The size of the chip is going to get smaller for both Xbox and Sony. And this is just, this is common stuff. It becomes smaller. You just detailed how everything is lower power consumptions. All those types of things go down, better thermal rates. And then when you can do all that, guess what? You can reduce the size of the core system, whether it be even the Series S and the Series X will both probably get revisions. The only thing that we really can talk about right now and discuss on the panel, will there be a pro upgrade? I don't think so. I think that this is going to be the specs for the generation.
Yeah, I thought Phil Spencer was pretty adamant on that at the beginning of the generation, that there would not be a mid-gen,
and that there was never a Lockhart. He was pretty adamant on that.
I mean, this is coming straight from people
dealer.
that were. So this is coming from people that were straight talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro coming out in 2024 and the chip thing, and I think Brad Sams is the one that talked about this chip also. He was saying that he knows that it's in development and that it's just not about power or anything like that. But if you look at the other report from the other side from Sony, they were talking about this improvement and they're doing this for to get ray tracing to be better, and it's coming out in 2024 and it's definitely a mid-gen, and I'm just like, what the hell?
Yep, I'm going to be playing my RDNA 3 over there. So
yeah, I just don't get it. We still don't even have enough of these consoles out yet, and the damn developers aren't even using the tech in this yet.
Yeah,
talk about this.
We're still getting 1080p games.
I had a little bit of a different take on it. I did a video on it.
Oh, here we go.
And it could it's just my
we're fucking with you, D. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not a possibility, but it could very well just be a smaller chip, a smaller sock, a smaller APU, less heat, a smaller Xbox Series S, a smaller Xbox Series X. It could very well be that. For me, I think it has the potential to be more, just for the simple fact of when I think it would come out. Now, if them working on it now, these things, it's not going to come out in 6 months from now. It's going to come out in a couple of years. Now, I estimate that it would probably come out in 2024, which is 2.5 years now. From now, 2.5 years from now is 4 years into the cycle of these consoles. Now, when we look at the old Xbox One, I think it was 5 years afterwards, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One X came out. So I don't see it out of the realm of possibility of them releasing, a better iteration of it. Now, we hear some reports that Sony is doing it. Now, if this is true that Sony is doing it, Microsoft would know about this, because these leaks, they know information between companies. They would have to counteract that. Why would you just release a less consuming console that's going to have the same power if your competition is going to release something that's going to be more powerful? 1. 2, I know what's coming this summer. This summer, the stuff that's going to get announced from both NVIDIA and from AMD is going to blow people's minds.
Batman RTX.
So in 2.5 years, with the stuff that's coming out this year alone, I think this is going to be a really big jump for PC. I think the subsequent years aren't going to be as big of a jump. I think this is the big generation jump. Just like consoles made a big generational jump, PC is also making that. And this stuff is going to be really powerful. And in 2 years' time, the Series X and the PlayStation 5 are not going to be holding up compared to this stuff. So for me, it would make more sense for them to release a more powerful version of the console that scales just like how we have now. The games would look better, run better, have more features on it. But if you had a Series X or a PlayStation 5, it would still work, on that console, would just scale to the power capabilities. I think that could be a strong possibility of what's happening. But like I said, it could also just be a refresh, not a refresh, like just a smaller design that's more efficient. I just don't think it would make sense in 2.5 years to
It would
bring
suck
that
if
out.
Sony had a Pro,
You know?
and we were definitely down. But
Yeah,
I think first and foremost, though, I
but-
think it's about developers with Microsoft's approach, because they've talked about not having a cohesive experience last generation when they dropped a console midway through and didn't have dev kits out there for everyone. But I think the ultimate story we can come away with here is from Jose Linares in the chat. He says, "You know what they say about people with small socks."
Yeah. Well,
That's I think that's what this boils down to.
I think what Dee was saying is probably spot on, because I was in Best Buy the other day and there was this guy wearing a black shirt that said "Who gives a shit" on the front of it, and he was standing by the game section and he told me the same shit, that they're going to come out with a mid-gen refresh.
He didn't tell you to buy an Xbox One?
No, he told me to buy a PlayStation 4. He said, "Fuck the 5. They're doing cross-gen anyway. Why waste your money?" That's what he told me, and I was just.
I mean,
like,
I get the whole
I
like
have a 5.
gen. I get like the whole gen update you're talking about. I get what you're saying about the whole gen upgrade D and all that. But like, how many like 3080s have people bought? How many of these 40 series are people going to buy? I don't think that there's going to be like, if there is a mid-gen refresh, then cool, right? Like we'll all be there to cover it, be there to play it, get it, whatever. But I think that it's more to do with, the masses. What are people playing? Because like, even though there's like 3080s and 3090s, a lot of people don't have those. So I think the technology needs to catch up. People need to upgrade either their PCs or their consoles. Like, look how many people are not able to even get consoles.
Look, right now, if Xbox release a fucking more powerful console in 2 years, I'm going to be fucking annoyed, because a year and a half in, they're not getting a fraction of the damn power now, or using any of the fucking features now. Bro. And when you have things like mesh shaders where a game has to be re-rendered and rebuilt from the ground up to even really leverage these things, games just have not caught up to the capability of RDNA 2 commonly, let alone a lot of other shit. So I don't think they're going to drop a faster system, because Microsoft did, they like having every development kit in one, so everyone has the same cohesive development experience. Everyone can make an S and an X game easy. They don't got to worry about a third wheel coming out later, and they don't have more and more on their plate. If Sony come out with a Pro, even though their damn console, you can't even fucking get it now, and two, if you come out with a Pro and it's got RDNA 2 features that are actually built into the hardware, like the Series X, and the old one doesn't, you're talking path of least resistance. We had Mikey Barr on the show. He even said it himself, like, developers are going to take that path of least resistance. They're not going to leverage features, which makes me wonder what the fuck is going to be leveraged anyway, because I think games need to be built from the ground up for RDNA 2 in some cases, like mesh shaders.
I think next year we're going to stop seeing games being developed for the old gen system. So
we're already
I think
at the end of the
that's
day,
going to be cut off, and then we're just going to have to worry about the Series S and the Series X. And just the reason why I'm saying this is just because I know what's coming down the pipeline, and the stuff that you guys are going to see in the summertime is going to blow your mind. And yeah, Zaka makes a good point. There's a lot of people that don't have 3080s or 3090s, but there's a hell of a lot of people that have 3070s or 3070 Ti's. And let's not forget, when the 4070 comes out, it's going to, basically be around the same price as a 3070 now, but it's going to have the capabilities of like a 3090. So I don't know. It could go both ways. Like, I understand what you guys are saying, but just for technology, I know that technology doesn't give a fuck. It really doesn't.
I'm just saying, though, developers
they come up with new GPUs that they haven't really fulfilled the previous generation. Technology just keeps on moving, and we're in a situation.
It's particularly bad, though. It's particularly bad at this point, though, right now, D, where you got.
It's a long time, though. From now,
I'm just saying, though. You get what I'm saying, though. Whether they do it or they don't do it, I think it's irrelevant, because these systems we have now are so damn capable, and developers are still dropping shit at 1080p 60 FPS, coming back 2 months later and doubling the pixel count at the same frame rate. Like, it's nothing. Like, they're just setting and forgetting it sometimes. And until we get to a point where they're even using features, let alone maxing out the GPU without the features, you're still getting Gen 9 aware titles like fucking Shadow Warrior 3. I mean, it's they're just getting shit out right now. Some games look really good that way, but I just need people to start pushing the hardware a little more this next year. That's what I want.
Yeah. It's
I do think that the shortages and COVID has definitely slowed down progression of where we would be comparatively if we didn't have these problems.
Developers.
You know, so the fact is that they are behind as it is. The fact that they are so behind, it stagnated everything. COVID stagnated everything.
I get it, but I call bullshit also because there's also executives like Phil Spencer saying that the year of COVID pushed gaming forward 5 years.
He's talking about digital and stuff.
But I'm just saying, like, I know what you're saying.
Stop lying, Zaki.
Anyway, we
got too much shit happening all at once right now.
I know what we're talking about. All that, like, COVID did this and that. I get it, but for the last year and a half, like a lot of developers have learned. Everybody learned in 2020 how to work remotely. So, and like I said, last week, and I said the week before, by next year, if Xbox and Sony and developers are not taking advantage of the hardware, we're gonna call fucking bullshit. Because that's what we want to see. That's what we bought these consoles for.
We might see it this holiday.
Well, we're already calling bullshit on 1080p stuff. There was another 1080p 60 FPS game announced recently. I'm just whatever. Mahesh, shout out to you, buddy. He super chatted $2 million in that currency, and I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. We're gonna wrap the show up though. We're gonna get to Get to the Biscuit here, and he says PS5 will do a mid-gen update, not future proof. We'll see, man. Maybe that bitch will get smaller, hopefully. Go ahead, Fonz, and then we'll go ahead and say some outros.
I just want to reiterate what you were saying as well about how people would be upset about this, because I definitely would be upset if they came out with a mid-gen refresh in 2 years when we're not even using the power of the consoles now. It makes no sense, because if you look at the previous generation, when we did have a mid-gen refresh, it's after they maxed out the consoles. There's no reason to even think about making a new console at this point.
And everything's more scalable than ever with FSR and all these things.
What are the ceilings? 4K 60 with ray tracing?
Well, the point is, back in the day when they had the mid-gen refreshers, because 1080p, right? That's what they
100%, yeah.
Was the 1080p was what they were aiming for, and then 4K TVs completely dominated the market. It was over. Like 1080p was like you don't even
makes you a better gamer, bitch.
And so that's why they did it, because they had to go with what the people were having. A lot of people were having 4K. Developers were asking for it, like they were asking for SSD. So that whole thing about the mid-gen refresh needed to happen. So that was like, for me, that was like a big thing.
I mean, it didn't need to happen. It was by far the least bought console.
And we absolutely killed the subject.
But we definitely liked it. It's for enthusiasts. It's like a 3070 or 3080 on PC. That's what a 1X was to a console gamer, or a PS4 Pro was to a console gamer. It was the vast minority of sales. But you know what? They still did it, and it was cool, and it was a cool little experiment. But now we're back to, hey, we got both SKUs from day one. They literally did that for a reason, day one. And ultimately, I don't think they'll drop another Xbox this generation. Will PlayStation do it? I don't know. It's just very weird. So
I think it'd be pretty fucking weird. I would be pissed off if they did it. It's very stupid. I mean, and a lot of other people would too. That can't even get the current PlayStation. It makes no sense.
2.5. I gotta say though, 2.5 years, which is when it would happen if it were to happen.
But we're talking about consoles, not PCs.
Yeah, but two and a half. I'm saying from now, 2.5 years, 2024. If it was to happen, it'd be coming out November, December, like they normally do. So 2.5 years from now is quite some time, and that's 4 years.
It's not though, D. You know why? Because I feel like we haven't even got off the ground yet. This current generation, I feel like we haven't gotten shit yet on either side. I really feel that way.
I do agree though. The consoles are not being used. Like they're barely using any of the feetures.
Where's velocity?
I hope that changes.
Anyway, I'm wrapping the show up. I'm wrapping the show up. It's the same shit over and over and over.
No. This ain't the same shit.
It is the same shit. I literally just said everything you're saying.
No, bullshit.
They're not using the shit.
No. Have you played any game this generation that felt something new? That felt fresh? For this
game design or visuals?
Fucking bug snacks.
Turn up.
I have not.
Turn up tax evasion.
I've played a bunch of games. I've played a bunch of games that are cross-gen.
Yeah.
And
have you played Resident Evil 8 though? Have you played like some games that really push the heart?
Those games, man.
Exactly, Fonz. You can't speak on it. You can't speak on it, and that's what it comes down to.
Yes, I can. That's not pushing current.
Have you played Resident Evil 8? There's parts of Resident Evil 8 where I was like, holy shit, this looks super fucking good.
Of course, and Red Dead 2 looked amazing on the one last gen.
And what about
it?
That's
my point.
And it wasn't using the latest. It wasn't using the latest AMD technology
yet to get anything current, even on the PlayStation 5, that looks freaking so amazing. We have not
I'll
yet.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you the only thing that
you're not going to
gave
get
me
that. Like I explained this over and
get
over.
it.
Last generation at the end, the visuals are never going to jump like that again. We're moving from the same machine language to, for the first time, really the same machine language again. Developers are going to be pushing new PC settings.
But I see PC games looking
Which
incredible.
ones?
Yeah,
Dude, even Red Dead 2 looks incredible.
Yeah, and that can run on the console. That's Rockstar. That's not the hardware.
You'll be paying for that.
They're not pushing.
Listen.
They have the yet to push these consoles. That's how.
You're talking to the fucking choir there. Yeah, I mean,
what I've seen that has really impressed me, that gave me that feeling, is the Matrix demo on Unreal Engine 5.
That is true.
And I think Unreal Engine 5 is going to give us that visual jump that we so desire. I think it's coming, and that's the first thing that I've seen that said, "Holy shit! Like this is I had to call everybody. Like this is amazing." That is the first experience this generation that I've had that excited me.
What about Turn Up?
Shut up, Tim.
Here we go. Wesley Snipes.
Again, though, we all agree. Like, we've been pushing this harder than any other podcast. There are games drop. We've literally said they could do these things, and a week later they patch a shit and do exactly what I said they could do. We know what's being pushed and what's not being pushed, what features are and aren't being pushed. And we all think the same thing. We want more. That's exactly why we are all pretty much in agreement for the most part that we don't need another console right now.
I had more jaw-dropping moments with the One X than I have with this generation's consoles.
Yeah, I mean, hey, everyone's different, but it depends on what you've played, at the same time.
No, I'm telling you, even on the One X with Metro Exodus.
And that's something else I told you that would happen. Since you got the One X, it wouldn't be the fucking massive, just next generation day one thing that you would think, because the One X.
But that's why we're all in agreement here, saying that the Series X and the PlayStation 5 need to push this tech that they do have forward. It's ridiculous that they're not.
And that's all down to developers, which is why I don't think they're going to want to adopt another system.
For me, the Series X was like, holy smokes, I'm getting PC-like settings on a console. That's what the Series X was for me, that when I switch from PC Series X, I'm not feeling this huge deficit at 30 FPS. I'm not seeing a huge downgrade in graphics. And for console gamers, I think it's awesome what we're seeing on the Series X. I'm just disappointed, like you guys, that they're not using the full feature set.
It's going to take time.
It is.
I mean,
how much time do they need?
Well, you have to realize it just takes time. That's always the way. We still don't even have Starfield, the next gen.
But it's developers too, to be honest. A lot of developers on PC, they're not using the RDNA 2 features.
Anyway, I'm falling asleep, and I love this shit. So we've already run this shit into the ground. We've said all this stuff already. It's just repeating itself. What's not repeating itself is Gamer by Choice member for 33 months. Shout out to you, brother. He says, I'm with you, dealer. I want them to use the power of the consoles, but I realize devs do the path of least resistance. And, this is nothing new. We've seen this over and over and over. Dark CMF, by the way, he says it's the same issue DLC over and over. And then
that's a fact.
For Havoc, pick up Bug Snacks on Xbox Game Pass, y'all. For Havoc is shielding for that Bug Snacks. Lord Starkiller says, would love to see 14 to 16 teraflops Series X, 6 to 8 teraflops Series S, but want even more games to utilize the RDNA 2. Yeah, and that's, again, it doesn't matter how many titty flops you got if they're not being used. And we've said this from the beginning. It comes down to, go back and watch 2-year-old videos of mine. Developers control every single bit of this that you're going to get. And until we see some of the stuff being pushed, we understand things have changed a little bit, and guys are going through things, and there's a lot of shit happening. Whether you like it or not, things are not 100% back to normal, and you've got to acknowledge that first. So we'll kind of see how things come along, D-Batch, and hopefully things get a little bit more performant.
I just want to say this real quickly. The one feature that I do expect to be implemented sooner than later is VRS 2.0, and that is definitely going to be a game changer on the consoles when we're able to have higher settings with 60 FPS or a little bit lower settings with 120 FPS or whatever way you choose to play the game. I think FSR 2.0 is going to be a game changer. It looks so close to DLSS 2.0. Like, I'll give DLS a little bit of an edge, but like, you really gotta pixel peep it. You gotta like slow it down and like, okay, this part here is a little bit more jagged than that part.
Oh, look
And
at
AMD
that.
AMD did say
it's
they're
really good.
putting that feature into GDK soon. I did a video on that as well.
They're actually they are putting that.
Nanopolymer says Zalker's not ready to sell his $6,000 PC to have his mind blown.
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, again, shout out to everybody who supports the show. LA Chargers fans, good to see you back in the show, brother. He says, at the very least, Xbox Studios needs these features. And yes, exactly. And that's what I talked about at the end of a couple of my last videos is, where the fuck is the ray tracing in Halo? Is it going to be a year and a half or 2 years or 3 years before we even get RDX2 features in Hellblade 2? Like, how long is this generation going to be? Are we going to wait 33% of it to see what the fuck the box can really do? That's different. We have to acknowledge that and understand the context around why development is happening like this right now. But ultimately, we got to get some more Xbox games out. That games event can't come soon enough. But guys, let us know your thoughts. Shout out to almost 1,100 tonight, guys. Thanks for supporting us and coming out and hitting the like button and sharing the show and all that stuff. Almost 600 likes on the show. Thank you. We're going to do some outros, and don't forget, Gameboys Patreon channel memberships. We'll be setting that up at the beginning of next month. Definitely stay tuned to the show for more information. Until then, everybody be safe. If you're out working, driving, be safe. Slap, all that good stuff. D-Batch, tell people what you've been playing, buddy, and where can people find you?
Been playing WWE 2K22, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I did the update on the Xbox Series X, and it still will not connect online. I've contacted support over and over and over again. I keep getting a runaround. Somebody please reach out to me on that. For the PC,
that's 2K's habit, bro. They just ignore the shit until it's fixed.
It's so annoying. And on PC, the 120 FPS update, turn on in-game update in the settings, and it corrects that frame pacing issue just being sped up. You can find me on YouTube at dbatch, and of course on Twitter at d_batch. Was a great show, and see you guys next week.
Fonzarelli, brother, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
Fonzarelli Gaming, YouTube, and 2K22 NBA.
And MLB
a lot lately. I played a little bit of MLB. I stopped though since I got then I played Madden for a while. Then I stopped that when I got NBA, and been playing that ever since. Having a good time with that. But it was a great show today. Chat was on fire. It was actually moving because #nobody. It was really fun today. And yes, sometimes you get a little passionate on the show. I like to argue my points. But yeah, I just want to see some shit look great and drop my jaw.
You were basically arguing with yourself though, because we all fucking agree.
I know you were with me too, but I just don't understand why Xbox developers aren't getting a handle on the stuff that's been there since day one yet.
Because their games are not built, like I said, mesh shaders. You gotta literally build your game differently than not mesh shaders.
I'll build it differently, damn it.
This is a time machine. Fuck. Hey, xCloud Tim Dog brother, what have you been playing, and where can you find you?
You can find me on Twitter. You know where to find me, xCloud Tim Dog, same as the name here. Been playing sports games like we were talking pre-show, me and Fonz, DLCs, the show, NBA, Madden, and I gave the F1 2022, the one on the Game Pass, that game a try, and it seems like it's pretty cool. I want to give some of these newer games a try. Still haven't tried Elden Ring. I don't know when I'm going to crack that nut, but when I do, I'm sure I'm going to like it, or either throw the Xbox through the window. But really good show today. Great to see the panel and everyone really, sound fresh and
enjoy that Elden Ring.
And yeah, you guys have, but just a good show overall. And see you next week.
Zalker, what have you been playing, buddy, and where can people find you?
Hey, what's up, chat? Thanks for coming. Find me at Zalker87 on YouTube and at Zalker87 on Twitter. I've been playing a fuck ton of games. I've been playing NBA 2K22 with Dealer, even without Dealer. Been doing kind of like solo games as the Warriors. Really fun. Been playing the new DLC.
I can't skip the halftime.
I fucking couldn't. And then I've been playing the new DLC for Sea of Thieves, which was freaking awesome. A lot of fun. Just killed a bunch of people. Been playing the Lego Star Wars Saga game, Weird West, and then Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Apex Legends with Gaz. Trying to get ranked in that, and then Warzone with a couple of buddies of mine. So it's pretty much what I've been playing. Just jumping around, playing a lot of games, having fun. But I think I'm going to finally try to beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I want to get to that Dawn of the Ragnarok DLC. It looks fucking cool. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I've enjoyed what they've done with the franchise, so I'm looking forward to it. And plus, they might bring out like a bunch of games, like 20 games Ubisoft is making. So I want to see what else they do because I actually enjoy their games. So yeah,
You're
we'll
looking
see what's
forward
up.
to Skull and Bones, huh?
I'll check it out after 85 delays. You know what's up?
Zucker, you think that show will be around June, around for Ubisoft?
I think I would say July, man. I don't know
Really?
why. I just feel like July when there's no E3, people kind of
Yeah,
go.
I'm looking forward to
towards
seeing
July.
it. They
Me
say
too.
20 new games, so
20
we'll
new
see.
games, new IPs, new Star Wars games, and new obviously Ghost Recon games. That after Breakpoint, they're going back to the drawing board and really revamped it, which they've had 2 years to. So, we'll see what they do there.
Oh shit,
I would go back
When's
to the drawing
Bugsnax?
board on that bitch too.
dude, is
Yeah.
Bugsnax out already on Game Pass?
On the 28th, Fonz.
Oh damn, I was gonna download it.
I pre-downloaded it.
Now we know
I knew
Fonz didn't hear us say that multiple times, but we still like Fonz. He's the best friend. Hey, you can follow me at dealer_gaming on Twitter, II_dealer_I on Xbox Live. I got a few people that are messaging me for party invites, just chat and chill. I didn't get to them this past week because I was, Easter and all that stuff, crazy stuff going over the weekend. I meant to do that, so please message me again, and we'll make that happen this week. I like hanging out with you guys. If you play 2K or anything else, hit me up and we'll decide if we want to play some shit. Halo, I haven't played that in a while. I'm waiting until the co-op comes back before I jump back into Halo, so keep that in mind if you guys want to run through that in co-op or something. We're waiting for that update. And obviously, subscribe here on YouTube. Check out my last video. Thanks for all the support on the work that I do here on the channel, and to everyone that bothers to actually watch the content and watch and sit here and listen to us babble like bitches. Of course, hit the like on the show, and of course, we're out.
Later,
Of course.
everybody.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Course.
Of course.
Course.
Of course.
Parkours.